how's it going, everybody? Hope you're doing well, and welcome back to Chat Over Coffee Reflective Thoughts. So this video I'd like to dedicate to the one and only Mr. Ron Hall. Hope you're doing well, brother. First off, I'd like to start off this video by wishing peace and blessings upon you, for your loved ones as well. I wish that nothing but the best comes for your way for the foreseeable future, that everything that you're wanting to work towards, that it comes to full fruition, and then you receive more of that on top as well. Amen to that. So, like I do with every person I've interviewed recently, again, it's been an honor to talk to everybody. It's been an esteemed pleasure. It's a privilege that these legendary martial artists who basically take the time out to talk to their fans, you know, it's a dream come true for the fans. I'll always be a fan for the rest of my life. And but for them to take the time out for you, it's just next level. It feels like it goes from here to here, and it feels really good to talk to them. And when I spoke to Ron Hall, I just messaged him and I said, "Hi sir, I've been a fan of yours these many years. Would you be interested in coming on my podcast?" And he replied me back saying, "Yeah, that's fine. I've noticed you had Jeff Speakman on your podcast. I've known Jeff for so many years," and big shout out in terms of show of respect to him as well. And Ron was just so cool and so kind and just a wonderful individual to talk to. And he has my respect for the foreseeable future. He actually called me back. Now, there's one thing I wanted to tell everybody. So when you see that recollaboration bit, we actually recollaborated literally about a week after the original podcast had ended. He goes, "I want to talk about this, this, and this." And I was like, "Yeah, come on back, man. This is this is fun for me." And it just felt so good to do that. To recollaborate with you. And that's the whole point when you talk to somebody. Don't let it be a one-off thing. Never let it be a one-off thing. Just always keep in touch with somebody. That's the whole point, because we're not here for very long on this planet. You could be here for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Luckily, if you make it past 70 years, and that's a good thing, hopefully, God willingly. And but let's talk to Ron about his martial arts background, talking to him about how he got into the movie business, what the experience was like with working on Bloodsport 2. I actually first saw him in the movie Bloodsport 2, and I thought he was just a mind-blowing martial artist. His character was absolutely fantastic, and when I got to speak to him personally, he's just as kind and as generous as the characters he portrays. So in a way, I don't think he was even acting; he was just being himself, and I do mean that complimentary. And but sincerely, I wish Ron nothing but the best. And like I said, when you get the opportunity to talk to somebody you grew up watching, admiring, respecting their work, and it's something else. It's something else, and you never think in a million years that when you're about this big and you speak to somebody, you watch somebody on TV screen to say, "Oh, what was it?" When you see them, it's, "Oh, he's pretty cool." And then decades later, you get to talk to that individual. You never thought in a million years that would actually happen, but by the way of the universe, by God's will, by whatever it is that people believe in, and it happens for you, always be grateful for the opportunity. That's the most thing to do, is just always, like I always say, when opportunity comes knocking on the door, always go answer it, because at the end of the day, if you miss that first knock, it's not going to come back again. We're humans, we learn from our mistakes, and you got to learn from that in order to make the world a better place for the next generation and more generations to come as well. So again, Brother Ron, thank you again for taking the time out for me. I'm dedicating this video to you. You have my respect forever. Let's always keep in touch. And if you're ever in England, we'll go for that hot chocolate. Well, for yourself, you'll have the hot chocolate. I'll have the coffee, and and let's just make the most of it. If I'm ever out in the US, I will definitely meet up with you as well. And all the best to you. God bless. You all know the drill. Don't forget to click subscribe and turn on notifications. And hopefully there'll be more videos coming in the foreseeable future as well. Amen to that, everybody.